In today's rebuild, we are going ahead and rebuilding Barcelona. They are still in financial trouble, and in fact, they're in the regions of 500 million in debt, 400, 500 million in debt. They did just sign a 100 million plus or deal with La Liga, something like that, to register players, blah, 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 blah. But they are still in financial troubles. We have the squad here as updated as I could get it. We have Fati, Lewandowski, Rafinha, Pedri, De Jong, Gundogan, Balde, Christensen, Araujo, Koundé. There are some players that might not be here, that shouldn't be here. There might be players not here that should be here as well. We cannot sign a single player until we raise 500 million in the transfer budget. As you can see here, we have 53k in our transfer budget. We are 500 million in debt. I am obviously not going to sell everyone at the beginning in one season. Lewandowski, Fati, Rafinha, they're not all going to go in one season. I am doing this without my mods, so I can actually get easily fired. And to make up for the fact that we're going to have some type of players in the squad, we have youth staff going out for 9 months. For every month they will come back in, and we will bring them in. We will bring them in automatically if they're over the age of 16. I think it's 16 and promotable, 16 to 18, yada yada yada. They will bring in, and then we will probably end up selling them next season as well. That's the only way we could bring players in for now. But we got to raise 500 million to be able to sign a single player while still trying to win the La Liga, still trying to win Champions League, Copa de España, yada yada yada, yada yada yada. And first selling of the summer is going to be Sergio Roberto. He will be walking out the doors to Dortmund for 18.3 million. That's one part of the 500 million that we need. We are obviously only going to sell maybe 2 to 3 players per season. Maybe a little bit more depending on how further we get on. And chances are I'm actually going to get fired pretty soon, and you won't see this video until next like 2 weeks. But Sergio Roberto is gone to Dortmund for 18.3 million pounds. Now a player for the last 3 windows, even if going back to last summer, Frankie de Jong has been rumored to join Manchester United for the last however long now, 2-3 windows now. He is now being targeted here on FIFA 23 by Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. If we can get around the region of 160, 170, we will go ahead and sell him if we can. That's the only way. I'm not going to accept anything under 145 million for Mr. De Jong. We are going to look to offload him. If we do, I'm sorry, there's a huge gap. Okay, they did not want to buy him for that much money. I think the computer said we could buy him or sell him for as much as 150. Go ahead and say goodbye to another right back, Serginho Dest, coming back from loan from AC Milan. He wasn't initially part of Xavi plans. He then turned back into Xavi plans to not being back in Xavi plans to being where he's at the point where they might just go ahead and release him from the club if he hasn't been released yet. He has been sold now to Fulham. He will join Americans Tim Ream and Robertson as part of their American defensive line, and that'll be an additional 10 million for us. We are now up to 28.3 million in our 500 million debt cap, and that's actually all their sellings we will make this summer. We are going to go ahead and jump all the way over to January to see where this team can perform. Now obviously not losing any big name players in the starting 11, so it should be perfectly fine. And I actually will stop month to month. Actually thinking about it, I should probably stop month to month to do these youth academy players. But we are kicking the season off with 3 wins in a row. It's exactly where we want to see. Now obviously some players do have release clause, so when simming through months like that, at the end of that, especially in January when I typically just sim through, I would have to check for release clause sellings, because that could be a big budget, and most of them kind of are over all over 100 million, if I could speak English there. Halfway through the season, we currently sit in first with 5 points ahead of Atletico Madrid, who do have a game in hand, so could close it down to being 2 points. They are currently invincible. Real Madrid currently sit in 4th. As far as the Champions League goes, we went ahead and finished 2nd in the group of death here. Went into Milan finishing in 1st, and Bayern Munich getting knocked down to the Europa League. We have a visit with Manchester City in the Champions League round of 16. Our players are all good. We are not selling anyone. Obviously, we will figure out. We have 50 million in the bank right now. I don't think we've sold anyone else. I don't think we have. Round of 16 with a very, very tired squad here. Fati's at striker. Torres is at left wing. It's all mixed up. We have Garcia and a right back Araujo as our center backs. We are going to go ahead and quick sim here. Get absolutely bodied by Manchester City. 3-1. Holland scored a hat trick. Lewandowski came on in the second half and maybe gave us a little bit of a lifeline in that second half. For that second leg, we're down by 2. It's not looking good in Champions League, and hopefully our team can stay somewhat fit. Second leg here, this is the squad more like it. Fati at left winger instead of striker. Lewandowski starting the whole 90. Araujo, Christensen back in the starting 11. Rafinha's full fit. Koundé's full fit. Let's jump to result. Let's see if we can rectify that first leg. No, we cannot. We lose the second leg. 1-0. Kanji in the 6th minute, and after that, completely nothing. We lose the Champions League round of 16 to Manchester City 4-1 on aggregate, and that might actually get us fired in this save as well. And we go ahead and win the La Liga for this season by 7 points, with Sevilla coming in second, Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid wrapping up the top 4. The Super Copa did go ahead and go to Barcelona on penalties, so we went ahead and won the double in that retrospective. The Copa de España, we actually lost this finals to Real Madrid this time around 3-0. In El Clasico in the final of that. Real Madrid went ahead and won the Super Cup on penalties. The Champions League final is an all-English derby between Tottenham and Manchester City. So Man City make it all the way. The Europa League final, it's again an all-English affair with Liverpool versus Arsenal in there. And then the Conference League is Dynamo Kiev versus fellow Spanish side Villarreal. The unfortunate part is, look at my manager rating. We are close to getting fired, and we had a somewhat successful season here at La Liga Stadium. Lewandowski 28 goals, Rafinha 22, Ferran Torres with 16. Not get fired, and let's see how much money we can raise into the bank and try and get closer towards that 500 million spending target. New beginning season here. We're starting off with a budget of 112 million. Now obviously we are not spending any of that. We have still only sold 28.3 million worth of players here. The team is sitting like this. I'm gonna have to look to offload Lewandowski as soon as possible. Hopefully a transfer offer comes in him for this season, because he is starting to deteriorate. I'm gonna try and get him for as much as I can sell him for. Other players I'm looking willing to sell, maybe Ter Stegen, obviously. However, we are in the critical range, so this might not even go that much farther. With 48 manager rating, they want us to do the youth academy, and pretty much every board objective is critical besides the youth development. So brand exposure is get a streak of 10 games in home matches. That's completely fine. That's broken. We'll probably end up doing that anyway. Sell 3 players. That's perfect, because that's exactly what we need to do anyway. They want us to win the Champions League. They want us to win La Liga. They want us to win Copa de España. They want us to do the treble every single season. And unfortunately, that's just not realistic at all. And unfortunately, that's how it was last season. That's why we're nearly getting sacked. That's just how FIFA are. It's how EA are. Completely dumb in the terms of these, how much these affect your manager rating, your confidence rating, I guess, this year. It reduced players by 260k a week. I guess we could do that and gain 172 million earnings from shirt sales within the season. Now that's going to have to be from players in the squad. Usually it's players that we buy that will boost that a lot more than normal. We are going to look to offload at least a couple of these players, minimum 3 for the board objective. That's if we don't get fired. Pablo Gavi has been sold for 73 million, I believe, towards Liverpool. That is a big chunk of that. That's nearly putting us towards 100 million mark. And I believe there's actually another player on his way out to another Premier League squad as well in a couple of moments. But for 74.6 million, that will bring us up to 102.9 million. We are officially 1/5 of the way there from reliving our debt. And I believe, if they're going to show it, no. And there we go. Ferran Torres has been sold to Manchester City. His release clause got activated. 129 million. That's another 1/5 gone. We're up to 2/5. We're nearly halfway there of selling players. And in fact, I think we actually might be halfway there. 129.9 million. we are going to go ahead and sell him. We are up to 232,800,000. We are nearly halfway there. We're 18 million off of that. He has been sold. Marco Alonso has been sold for 12.8 million as well. That will put us officially not halfway there, up there with 245 million, 0.6K. 100K, I should say. This is the squad as looking like with those departures. Starting 11, not touched at all. Now, obviously, I believe Ferran Torres was actually playing a lot more than Fati last season just because of his rating. It was higher. We have went ahead and now got 52 on the manager wages. We have sold 3 players, so we have completed that objective yet. Thankfully, it didn't want us to sign a player. That was actually part of the objective last season, was to sign a player. We didn't do that. However, these 2 right here are what's gonna get us fired for next season. So I think I might try and cheat my way through at least a Copa de España, winning the cup, as well as maybe the Champions League or the league title as well. I'm gonna have to cheat my way through that and just kind of refresh it and restart it, save and quit and yada yada yada. Something I don't want to do, something I have never actually ever done. I've just kind of let it go on when we couldn't get sacked. Alright, but yeah, like I said, I'm gonna have to probably end up cheating my way through La Liga, winning the league title, winning Copa de España for sure, winning the Champions League. So honestly, Champions League glory right now, it doesn't matter until we're able to rebuild the squad anyway. We're not going to be able to rebuild the squad until we sell 500 million worth of players, and we are not there quite yet. We're nearly halfway there, so it's going to be another 2 seasons before we can even spend that. And then what we can't spend, it's up to just AI generated of what we can spell. I am looking to not really sell him. I did get a transfer offer here for Lewandowski, so if we can offload him, that would be great. I just don't have a striker to bring in to really replace him. That's good enough. We go ahead and sell Lenglet. He got loaned, or not loaned. His loan got expired, came back to the squad. I actually don't know if he's part of Barcelona in real life. They might have just let him go for it free. He still might be at the squad for all I know. But 18 million has been added to our budget. That's now selling number 4 or 5 of this summer window. Lewandowski's transfer has broken down, so it's looking like we're going to keep him for another season. And it's looking like this squad is going to be the same exact squad to bring us in. Any youth players, actually our youth squad got deteriorated really rapidly because I didn't bring anybody in like I said I was going to. And honestly, I don't really think I need to. As far as our manager rating, we are now up to 60. I did go ahead and reduce a lot of wages, down even more than 260K. I think we might have even saved up to $1 million a week now with those wage reductions. We went ahead and probably, they did want us to sign at least 3 players, so they did want us to sign players. It's a high value, but not really too hard. Anything else here, this won't really take effect until later end of the season. We are going to have to try and win both the league, but with that, we are now going ahead and going into January and see where we're at in the league, and hopefully win Copa de España and all the other competitions that they want us to win. And just like that, quick simming all the way to January, we're up back to excellent manager rating. We must been doing good. We are not doing the streak. I'm not sure why we are there. I guess because of shirt sales is up to 91%. We're nearly selling a bunch of shirts. We're currently sitting first in the league. According to that, we're in the round of 16 of that competition. This is when it could all come crashing down. We did go ahead. Do we sell anybody else? I didn't actually check right here. How much did we sign? How much did we sell this today? So minus 235, 3 million. 300K, I should say. We should be at the 20. Okay, so we haven't sold anybody else. That's perfectly fine. So that should always be 235.300K, and we're up to 263.6. We're over the halfway point. As far as our player squad goes, 88 overall for Lewandowski. Our team is doing fantastically well. Balde is growing, I should say. He's up to 80. So when we sell him, if we sell him, it might not even need to be selling him now. 100. First in the league, where we currently sit 2 points clear off of Villarreal. Real Madrid are still struggling in 4th, but Atletico Madrid are having the worst season out of the big 3 here with 37 points. They are 10 points off us. As far as Super Copa, we have semifinal date against Atletico Madrid. Copa de España is going to begin for us at the end of the month, so we're going to have to cheat our way through that. As far as the Champions League goes, we currently sit in first with AC Milan sitting in second, tied on points. Our goal difference was just better with Sparta Praha getting in third, with Lyon getting knocked out of European football. We have our date against Frankfurt in the round of 16, a much more enticing first leg fixture than Manchester City was last season, which Bayern Munich have them now. Any other big games? I don't see Arsenal in here. That is unfortunate. Was Arsenal even in the Champions League? Because if not, that means they didn't finish in top four and they didn't win the Europa League last season. They aren't. So Liverpool went ahead and won Europa League. That's unfortunate. I guess we just get to the end of the season, to be honest. Or I guess end of the month, I should say. Because we're going to have to cheat our way through Copa de España, like I said, just to make sure we don't get fired. Because that's unfortunately the name of the game these days. Champions League round of 16 here against Frankfurt. This should be more straightforward than that Manchester City one. A 2-1 win. It actually took an 80-minute winner from Rafinha to get his brace and to get the win here over Frankfurt in the first leg of the Champions League. Second leg here against Frankfurt. We are going to go ahead and quick sim home here this time. A 3-1 win, 5-2 on aggregate. Gundogan, Rafinha, and then Gundogan with a brace this time around. Rafinha with a hat-trick in 2 games for him. We are into the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and it's time to get our revenge on Manchester City in the round of 16, in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Ansu Fati is out injured, and his backup, which used to be Ferran Torres, is now starting for Manchester City. So this will be interesting. I think Alarcon is the next best player up for them, and we go ahead and lose 2-1. Haaland and Foden scoring. And in fact, there's Alarcon on scoring for Ansu Fati. I'm hoping Fati's injury isn't that big and he'll be back for next week's second leg, but I have a feeling he is out for a long time. He's out for 7 weeks with an elbow injury. That's not good. That might see us lose it out to the Champions League. And we're going to lose out to the league as well. Holy cow. Second leg here. Instead of Alarcon playing, we have Trinicao, who's back on for loan from Wolves. Second leg here. We need a big performance to get into the semifinals. And we are knocked out to Manchester City for the second season in a row. Hopefully that doesn't affect our manager rating too badly, because we are in the Copa de España final and we are still in the La Liga race to win the title as well, and that is going to actually hinder us completely a lot. We're down to 65. We're going to have to win Copa de España now. I actually haven't cheated the Copa de España at all. I know I said I was going to, but we're at the final now. I'm going to have to cheat that one to make sure we actually win that, and then I might have to cheat the La Liga as well, but I might not even have to cheat the La Liga because we're now winning 3 games in a row on the stretch there. We are going to go ahead and have to save it here against there. We'll save it, and then we'll jump to result here, and then if we lose, we'll back right back out. To be honest, that's just how it's going to have to be to make sure we don't get fired. And in fact, first time asking, Lewandowski drops a brace with Gundogan scoring in the first half, and we win Copa de España. Lewandowski with an 89th minute winner. We win Copa de España. That should boost our manager rating up a little bit more as well. We was at 60, 65, or now it's still at 65. As far as La Liga, we are 3 points clear off of Sevilla, so hopefully we can wrap that up. Do we play Sevilla? We do not play Sevilla at all. I'm just going to hope for the best. As long as we win out, there's nobody that can stop us. And we go ahead and do the double and win La Liga by 8 points over Real Madrid. Atletico Madrid end the season struggling there in 5th, missing out on Champions League football by 2 points. And 8 goals off a goal difference as well. So even with those 2 points, they probably wouldn't have got there anyway. Real Madrid, Sevilla, and Villarreal wrap up the rest of the top 4. Our manager rating is still very weak. We're actually even worse now. We're down to 60 overall on our confidence rating. It's not looking good, but Rafinha is our top goal scorer with 35 goals. Lewandowski had 24. Ansu Fati had 12. Pedri had 14 assists, with Gundogan having 13 assists as well. Let's get to next season, and let's see if we can get that final 200 million that we need to be able to finally spend some money in this team. And we are going to go ahead and kick season off here by selling Christensen, one of our 2 main standing backs. He'll be going over to Leipzig, if I'm not mistaken, for around 72 million mark. He will be going over to Germany for 72.1 million. And that will put us over the 300 mark. We're now to 335 million. Only 165 million left to go. Next up being sold is Ilkay Gundogan, a player that we got for free. Well, player that Barcelona got for free, not we. I'm not a Barcelona fan. They got for free. We sell him for 30 million. He will also be going over now to Italy for 31,600. And he will be joining AC Milan, and we're now up to 367 million. Ronald Araujo has been sold for his release clause 139 million point two. He has been sold to PSG, and that will bring us over that 500 million mark. We're now up to 506.5 million. We have obtained the debt. We have cleared the debt. We can officially spend as much money as we want now, with the realization that we actually obviously can't go back in debt now on FIFA 23. And in fact, we actually have 438 million to spend on this team now. We still do have Lewandowski in the team. I thought I sold him 20 times by now. And in fact, our squad depth must have been so short, because there's actually quite a few of decent, talented youngsters in the squad. Youth Academy players, I'm assuming. I know I did bring in some of these from Youth Academy, but not all of them. So that's interesting in that retrospect. But we have now full-fledged over this rebuild, and we could go ahead and win Champions League this season, and it would matter. Let's see what we spend. And after lifting that 500 million budget transfer embargo, whatever it is that we had to do, the 500 million in debt, we now have 442 million to spend here to properly rebuild Barcelona. Team things I'm looking for is a new striker to replace Lewandowski. He is getting old. I want a new center back. Actually, I want two new center backs to replace Garcia and Umtiti. I need a new midfielder to go alongside De Jong and Pedri. Possibly a new right winger, and then for sure improvements to our bench as well. Our bench is looking so weak right now. I went ahead and actually released all Youth Academy players. I don't need them anymore. And actually, I'm recording this about a week and a half later since that last part that you just seen, that whole first part up to now. I finally have mods back on. That's why this video is taking so long to get out. It was supposed to be out this week, as in like on the 23rd of August. And it'll probably be out a little bit later than that, probably sometime next week. As of time I'm recording this, towards like the 27th or 28th, somewhere around there. Hopefully. I gotta edit it. But we have 432 million to spend, and we are going to have to spend it a lot. First signing of the summer, first actual signing of this window, of this career mode, I should say, is Eder Militao. He will come over from Arsenal, not Real Madrid, but from Arsenal for 89 million. He will come in, he will be our best center back. He'll probably be one of our better players in all honesty, and hopefully he can hold down that defense that has been starting to slack over these last couple years when I couldn't buy anyone and had to just sell pretty much almost all of my good players. There's still a couple left, but Eder Militao will join that list, and that's 89 million gone. Second signing of the summer is bringing in striker Victor Osimhen. I went ahead and swapped him with Lewandowski plus 30 million. So Lewandowski is no longer at the club. Victor Osimhen is now our new #1 striker. We saved a little bit of money on him, not having spent his full market value, which was close to 80-90 million. We need another backup striker. I was really looking for backup strikers anyway. Victor Osimhen is #1. And that is another 30 million gone out of our transfer budget. We're close to 300 million now at the moment. And we go back over to London club Arsenal to bring in Martin Odegaard. He will be our new midfielder to go alongside De Jong and Pedri. He will lead the attack in that midfield, and hopefully he can get a lot of assists, maybe even bag some goals for himself as we look to win La Liga and the Champions League for real this time. Martin Odegaard joins the squad for 98.5 million if I'm not mistaken. Welcome to the club, Bukayo Saka. We go to Arsenal for another player, this time bringing in English starboard talent, the best winger in Premier League football at the moment. Bukayo Saka will join over here to Barcelona. We also go ahead and bring in center back Bastoni. He will join in and join alongside Eder Militao as our new center back duoship. We also bring in backup striker Danjuma. He will join the squad as just a backup striker for the squad. And looking at the squad now, it's all really about backup players that are good enough to play for Barcelona. Trincao can stay as a backup player. I need a backup left winger. I need a backup midfielder, or maybe even two backup midfielders. And I do have Garcia as a backup center back, so that's fine. And then possibly a backup right back or center or left back, something like that, or even a better backup goalkeeper. But for now, this is the main starting 11 for this season. Let's see what they can do. By the time we get to January, I won't show you improvements I made to the bench unless they're crazy. But for now, we have 181 million to improve the squad if we do. And scrap that. We are going to make one more signing for the starting 11. Neymar Jr. will join for, not free this time around, but for around 66 million. He will at least give us another couple of years here back at Barcelona. Now, obviously, in real life, he went over to Saudi Arabia for the money, being a little money whore all these other players are. But for now, he will join here in a different reality here at Barcelona and hopefully win another Champions League for one more season. Neymar Jr. will join the squad. Number 29 does not look right on him at all. I'm going to have to change that for sure when I have to play a Champions League final, if he's even there. But Neymar Jr. joins for 66.6 million. That's a little bit devilish, but it's kind of fitting for Neymar being the selfish player he is. Let's get into it. That's it for the signings, though, for sure. And halfway through the season, we have only suffered one loss in the Champions League, in the La Liga, scoring 40 goals, conceding 19. We are on top of the league by 6 points, with Real Madrid being in second, and then Atletico Madrid in third, with Sevilla in fourth, 12 points behind us. As far as the Champions League goes, the group stages, we went ahead and finished second, with AC Milan going a perfect 6 for 6. And in fact, we actually tied on points with Leo. We nearly got knocked out of Champions League, but we do finish in second, which means we play a first place team. So City, Newcastle, Benfica, United, Juventus, PSG, or Real Madrid. It's not going to be an easy first round of 16. And in fact, we actually get lucky. We get Benfica. Is Benfica first? Yeah, Benfica is first. So we actually got the easiest team out of every first place team, which is absolutely insane. But we'll have Benfica in the round of 16. That is a blessing in disguise because we need that luck. Neymar's down to 87 overall. Eder Militao and Bastoni are both playing great. Odegaard's playing great, +5 on him, as well as De Jong and Koundé. Actually, pretty much almost everyone is +5 besides Neymar, who's +0. And then Pedri and Bastoni are all +3. Everybody else is playing as a +5. So they are all playing elevated to their own stats. I'm going to re-sign some players. Actually, I'm only going to re-sign one. It's Trincao. Everybody else here can leave in the summer for free. I could care less. Let's get to the Champions League. A round of 16 here up against Benfica. Champions League, round of 16. First leg here against Benfica at what would be Camp Nou. Obviously not in FIFA 23. It's a 2-2 draw. In fact, Ansu Fati is 65th minute Thier. Second leg here, can the boys get the job done away from home? The answer is yes, but it takes off of penalties. Odegaard, Pedri, Saka, and someone else scoring all of their penalties. Neymar scored the first penalty. We get through 4-4 in aggregate. We get through on penalties against Benfica. We're into the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Champions League quarterfinals, and it's against Real Madrid, El Clasico rivals. Eder Militao facing off against his former club. Well, one of his former clubs, his former real-life club, I guess. Can the boys get the job done? I mean, we struggled against Benfica. I can only assume what's going to happen with Real Madrid. We actually win 1-0 in the first leg with Bukayo Saka scoring the first goal and the only goal. We get into the second leg with a narrow 1-0 advantage. Second leg here, and our team, both of our teams actually, are pretty much dead tired. So substitutions are going to have to be made. We have Moretti, who we bought in. He was one of the players we bought in. I didn't show y'all that. I don't think I showed y'all bringing in Gomez as well. That's pretty much it. That's the only player we actually brought in. Everybody else here. Why? How did Trinicao get dropped? Oh, Trinicao got dropped for Rafinha. That's right. We're going to have to, hopefully, this weakest team can get the job done. It's a 0-0 second leg there, which means we go through a narrow 1-0 win out of 2 legs. We're into the semifinals of the Champions League, but we're doing it very, very strugglingly. Newcastle United actually knock off Manchester United. It's between Juventus, who's up 3-1, and then PSG, who's also up 3-1 after their first leg against their opponents. First leg here, the semifinals, it's against PSG, against Mbappe. Can we get it done? A back 5. Araujo, we're playing against our former center back that we sold, Araujo. Can we get the job done? It's still a 2-legged adventure. Eder Militao goes and actually scores a winner, with Osimhen opening up the scoring, Mbappe leveling it up right before halftime. Militao gave us a win. We are into second leg with a 2-1 win going over to France. Second leg here, they're playing pretty. I think they're playing an unchanged 11. We are too. Our unchanged 11 is just a little bit more tired with a La Liga game a couple of days ago. And in fact, that actually helps us out somehow. We win 4-1 in the second leg with Bukayo Saka scoring, Osimhen scoring a brace, and then Neymar adding it on top to make it a 6-2 aggregate. Our most comfortable Champions League knockout stage win. We are into the finals of the Champions League after spending nearly 450 million after selling nearly 500 million. And it's looking like we are going to go up against Juventus, who have a 2-0 lead after their first leg. And as far as La Liga goes, we're going to go ahead and win La Liga. Actually, we already pretty much won La Liga. They can actually... Can they catch us 4 times? 83. No, they actually can't catch us. They would be a max of 83 points. We're already on 85. We have 3 losses, 75 goals for, 36 goals against. And we could lift the trophy here. If that was our last away home game, which is not, we could have lifted the trophy there against Real Madrid. And we will be playing Juventus in the Champions League final. Champions League final here with FC Barcelona. And in fact, unfortunately, Bastoni is out with a red card suspension. So Eric Garcia will take his spot in that left-footed center back role. Other than that, our starting 11 is unchanged, with Neymar playing as a 91 overall, Osimhen as a 94, De Jong and Odegaard both playing as a 95, Pedri playing as a 96 overall at the moment. We are going up here against Juventus, who have Jota, Cunha, Rabiot, Portajo, Bruno Gomes, Doku, Chiesa, Gatti, Bremer, Dragson, and Szczesny in net. Let's jump into it. Let's see if we can get the job done here at the PSG Stadium, the Parc des Princes, and see if we can win the Champions League after a 500 million debt. Champions League final here up against Juventus. Let's see if we can get the job done. Diego Jota now on the ball. It's a beautiful in-between ball for Portajo. Ter Stegen coming out. Ter Stegen will save the initial, but Portajo will get his own rebound. It's 1-0 for Juventus. 22 minutes into the Champions League final here. De Jong on the corner. Last chance for halftime. Osimhen, no. Cleared by Cunha, and that will be halftime. No, the ball's not cleared yet. There's nobody in the box, though, here for Barcelona. De Jong is in the box. He's the only one. And that will be halftime for sure. 1-0 down here against Barcelona. Bukayo Saka. Back to Koundé. No. Odegaard will get it back. De Jong now on the ball. Saka now on the ball as well. Bukayo Saka crosses it over for Balde. Did he stay on side? No, I think that's why the advantage went up. Now in for De Jong. Back into the mix with Koundé. Koundé back to De Jong. Now Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard on a shot. Martin Odegaard will find the back of the net. The Arsenal star boy will level it up here for Barcelona. It's 1-1. 62 minutes gone. I mean, look at this. Look at this shot right here. It's a beautiful shot. I thought it was actually going wide. It actually curled back as well. It was going to go wide if it didn't have that Techers on it. It's 1-1. Pedri will win that header, though. Osimhen back over again for Neymar. The defender won't get that one. And Neymar to give us a lead here at his old stadium, at his own stomping ground, back at his former club where he was at his best. Now the greedy fuck is in Saudi Arabia with the rest of them. It's 2-1 Barcelona. take the lead over Juventus as well. De Jong will win that ball. It will fall for Rabiot though, and here come Juventus. And I did offside trap on accident, and Chiesa is in behind. Chiesa will chip the keepers 2-2. I did that offside trap way too late and way on accident. I'm okay. Well, I kind of sold that one. It's 2-2. Saka out wide. Did he stay on side? He did. Bukayo Saka switches the field. Odegaard's in the box. No. And we are going to extra time here against Juventus. De Jong's now holding the captain's armband. Eric Garcia is doing the defensive work, but also giving the ball straight back, forcing more defensive work, and we're down. Diego Jota scores to make it 3-2 for Juventus. Maybe taking off Osimhen and Odegaard and Bukayo Saka all a little bit prematurely. Less than 10 minutes left to go until we are out of not out of Champions League, but lose the Champions League final. Koundé, Miretti, out wide now for Rafinha. Rafinha has to do something. He's been quiet ever since coming on. Miretti now. Back to Rafinha. Crossed in for Danjuma. It's a poor cross. Miretti has to win that ball. He doesn't. Miretti will win the ball back though. Now Rafinha on the ball. In for De Jong. De Jong in for Pedri. Pedri has space. And Pedri levels it up. It's 3-3. And penalties are for sure looming now. And penalties are what's probably going to happen. As it looks like Juventus are setting up for penalties themselves. Not really attacking. But here they come. With EA at a time, obviously anything is possible. Over switching the field now for Chiesa. He stayed on bounds. Eder Militao has to win that. He does. And we are going to PKs here against Juventus. Penalty shootout here against Juventus. And Carrasco will kick things off by going left and scoring. 1-0. Ansu Fati, you know, we're going to copy exactly the same. And the keeper saves. Cunha to give him a 2-goal advantage. Ter Stegen saves. Rafinha, upper 90. That's a beautiful pen. 1-1. Diego Jota now down the middle. I literally knew down the middle. I went right just out of, I had to just go. Danjuma now to the right. Danjuma will score 2-2. Bruno Guimaraes is going right, but I'm going to go left, and he goes left. Miretti now. Miretti, I'm going left again, and Miretti will score and put into the upper 90. 3-3. Chiesa down the middle. He goes right. They save this. They win the game. Pedri, I'm going bottom right, and the keeper saves, and Juventus are out. Not Juventus are out. Barcelona are out. Juventus win Champions League. We lose the Champions League final. We go again for another season. Top goal scorers of the season. It's not Ansu Fati. It's Osimhen with 26 goals. Oh, sorry, I was looking at Ansu Fati right there. And fourth with 13 goals. And seeing that he had more goal contributions than Neymar Jr. in less games. That is absolutely criminal. We say, actually, he technically, 15? They actually had the same amount of goal contributions, except Neymar did it in more games. We say goodbye to Neymar Jr. That fraud can go over to Saudi Arabia and get all the money he wants. That is that for this season. Let's get to next season, and let's see if we can build a better squad. Even though the squad is pretty good right now, maybe a new left back. We'll see what happens. Maybe a new goalkeeper to replace Ter Stegen, who's getting on the older end of things here. Maybe bring in Donnarumma from PSG. We'll see what happens. In this summer transfer window, we only have $142 million to spend. But looking at the squad, honestly, I don't think we need to really spend that much. And honestly, I don't think we have to spend anything at all. I think we're good enough to get into the Champions League final. Maybe finding a replacement on a bench for somebody. But other than that, this squad is good enough to go. I'll give Ter Stegen one more season. Ansu Fati's back in the starting 11, being as good as he is. Other than that, I mean, we have to find a good value player to bring in. If not, it is what it is. Maybe bring in Mohamed Salah for a free agent. That would be absolutely insane. And Mohamed Salah will join the squad. He accepted an important role instead of crucial. So him and Bukayo Saka have a little bit of debate going on. We also bring in free agent Barrios. He is, if I'm not mistaken, he should be Lionel Messi's regen and for this team, and he will also join the squad. Halfway through the season in the Champions League, we go ahead and finish first in the group stages of the Champions League by 2 points with Napoli coming in second. We have a round 16 fixture against Atalanta, who is also Bergamo Castiel. We are currently sitting first in La Liga as well. Obviously, that is kind of expected. Let's go ahead and delegate some renewals here and get into the Champions League round of 16. Hopefully, get back to the Champions League final after being in it just a season ago. Champions League, round of 16, away from home. A little bit of a tired team, but still should be able to get the job done, and they do. Osimhen and Odegaard on the score sheet with a 2-1 and never win in the first leg. Let's get to that second leg and hopefully get to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Champions League round of 16. This time, Martin Odegaard injured. Hopefully, Moretti comes in and do the job if Moretti comes in. And in fact, he does. Another 2-1 win. Osimhen scoring after Angel scored in the first minute. And Ansu Fati adding it on top to make it 4-2. We are into the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Now, Villarreal, also Odegaard is still injured, but Villarreal in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Surely we should absolutely wipe the floor with them, but honestly, we don't. Okay. Champions League quarterfinals, second leg here, up against, hold on, what the heck? Oh, up against Villarreal, the second leg here. Odegaard is still injured. Can we get the job done without him? Yes, we can. 5-1 something. There we go. That's how I thought the first leg was going to go. Moretti, Pedri, Balde, Osimhen, and Saka all on the score sheet with them getting a goal in the 28th minute. We are through to the semifinals for the second time in a row. 6-2 on aggregate this time around. We will face off either against Dortmund, PSG again in the semifinals, or Tottenham. We also have the Copa de España, the Copa del Rey final here up against Real Madrid, and that's simming through it to get to Dortmund in the Champions League. We go ahead and win that over Real Madrid as well. So we pick up another trophy midway through this, well, not midway, but towards the end of the season. Now Champions League semifinal up here against Borussia Dortmund. We are going to go ahead and have to rotate this team slightly. Mohamed Salah is already down to 84 overall. That's kind of insane. Let's go ahead and get Garcia on the field for Bastoni. And let's go ahead and quick send this game and hopefully get the job done. Bellingham is still at Dortmund. And we do go ahead and win 2-1 with a Bukayo Saka second half brace. We're 2-1 up in the Champions League semifinal, first leg. Champions League quarterfinal, semifinal, second leg here. Odegaard back in the starting 11, back fit enough to play, not probably full enough, but we go ahead and draw 1-1. We see us actually win 3-2 on aggregate. So we're back into the final for the second season in a row here. And we'll face off against either PSG or Tottenham. And in fact, it's actually going to go ahead and beat PSG, who win 5-1 on aggregate. We're into the Champions League final for the second season in a row, and it's looking like we might not even win the league. We have to beat Real Madrid there to win the league, realistically. We also need Atletico Madrid to drop some points, so we might not win the league for the second season in a row, but honestly, don't really care about that. Champions League final against PSG. Last season, it was actually at PSG Stadium. This time, it's in England at Wembley Stadium. And last season, we didn't have Bastoni. This season, we don't have De Jong thanks to red card suspension. Moretti will take his spot. We also have Nico Gonzalez on the bench to take Moretti's bench spot. Starting 11 is pretty much the exact 11 as before. Other than that, Balde's up to 87, playing as a 92. Who's our highest overall? Who's playing like the highest overall? Ter Stegen's playing as a 96. Bukayo Saka's playing as a 96. Pedri's playing as a 97 at the moment with his +3. So Pedri is our best player at the moment. Let's see if he can get the job done and these boys can get the job done here against PSG. Champions League final for the second season in a row. Let's see if the boys can get it done this time around. We failed on penalties last year out to Juventus. See if we can get it done in regular time here against PSG. Shut down Mbappe. That's the key goal there. Paul Pogba is still in the starting 11. That's actually insane. Odegaard now on the ball for the corner. Odegaard, who does he have up there? It's Bukayo Saka, his Arsenal star boy. Bukayo Saka will turn off the defender, and Bukayo Saka will not give us the lead. It's a good save from Donnarumma. Maybe one more chance before halftime. No, referee blows his whistle. 0-0 at the break. Bukayo Saka now on the ball. Bukayo Saka down the flank. Bukayo Saka still going. Bukayo Saka on his left foot. Saved. Osimhen rebounded. 1-0 Barcelona. Victor Osimhen has a lead for Barcelona over PSG. 53 minutes in and we're up 1-0. Bukayo Saka, no. Moretti in for Bukayo Saka. That's game over for sure. He'll find Martin Odegaard. He'll find Pedri. Pedri will chip the keeper over the bar, but referee blow your whistle. Game over. Barcelona win the Champions League on the second time of asking. We raised 500 million in debt. We got out of that debt hold. We go ahead and build a somewhat decent squad. And in fact, old ex-Barcelona player Araujo actually scored the own goal and the only goal. So Barcelona wins it through and through. It's a 1-0 win in the Champions League final. And the young Martin Odegaard will lift the trophy. Martin Odegaard, Arsenal captain, will lift the trophy here as Barcelona's captain on FIFA 23. We go ahead and complete the Barcelona rebuild. If you did enjoy this, leave a like and subscribe. I'm sorry for a lack of videos. Hopefully more frequent. Definitely a lot more frequent. We're going back to daily for sure for EAFC 24 on the 22nd. Until then, leave a like, subscribe, and peace out.